Driver and vehicle safety. This training video will cover the following topics: general vehicle policy, general driver responsibilities, loading dock rules, basic vehicle procedures, and basic safety procedures. Please refer to the TFS handbook for full policies and additional details. Vehicle policy and driver's responsibility. Types of vehicles. We basically utilize 4 different types of vehicles: the Transit minivan, the Ford Transit, the cargo van, and 10 through 16-foot box trucks. This training covers the ins and outs of driving the Transit minivan, the Ford Transit, and the cargo van. Those who are interested in driving our 10 through 16-foot box trucks will have to take an additional driver's training course. Driver qualifications. In order to drive a TFS vehicle, you must fulfill the following qualifications. You must be an authorized employee of the company. You must have a valid driver's license. You must have a clean driving record. And you must be added to the company's vehicle insurance. The process of being added to the vehicle insurance is explained in your new hire folder. It does involve requesting an employee's most recent driving record from the DMV. Employees will not qualify if in the last 3 years the driver has had any of the following experiences: been convicted of an alcohol or drug-related offense while driving, had driver's license revoked or suspended, been convicted of 3 or more speeding violations, been involved in 3 or more chargeable accidents. Should any of the above experiences occur to a driver during their employment at the Fire Society, they must inform their supervisor so that the appropriate action may be taken. Vehicle policy. As an authorized driver of this company, you have been given certain privileges and responsibilities. You assume the duty of obeying all motor vehicle laws, maintaining the vehicle properly at all times, as well as following the policies and procedures for operating TFS vehicles. TFS vehicles and rental vehicles are only authorized to be used for business purposes only. They are not to be driven for personal reasons, nor are they to be taken to an employee's place of residence without the prior permission of the company owner. The insurance information, vehicle registration card, and owner's manual for each TFS vehicle shall always remain inside the glove compartment of each vehicle. If they need to be removed from the glove compartment by an employee, that employee shall make sure to replace them when finished using them. Because the TFS vehicles are a reflection of the Fire Society, our different brands, and the type of work we do, we need to keep them in the best condition possible. For this reason, we ask anyone driving a TFS vehicle to do their best to keep the vehicles clean and tidy, and to inform management of any accidents or mechanical problems. Any spills that occur while out on delivery need to be cleaned up with a scrub bucket, mop, and clean towels when the van is returned to the kitchen to be unloaded. Driver responsibility. Each driver is responsible for the actual possession, care, and use of the company vehicle in their possession. This means that each employee is responsible for the operation of the vehicle in a manner which is consistent with reasonable practices that avoid abuse, theft, neglect, or disrespect of the equipment. Please pay attention to and practice safe driving techniques and adhere to current safety requirements, including observing all traffic signs, traffic laws, and make sure to wear a seatbelt. And ensure that all other passengers in the vehicle are also wearing their seatbelts. Remember, fines for parking or moving violations, towing storage, or impoundment are the personal responsibility of the assigned operator. It is the responsibility of the driver to be knowledgeable of all traffic laws and aware of parking restrictions in the area where they park company-owned or rented vehicles. And finally, it is against the law in the state of California to operate a cell phone either for calling or texting while driving a vehicle. Using a cell phone while driving leads to an increased risk of having an accident through a lack of attention to driving. Do not, under any circumstances, use a cell phone while driving a company vehicle. Before retrieving your vehicle. Before retrieving your vehicle. When you are looking for your vehicle, make sure you have read its location on the driving board. Most of our vehicles are parked on or near 23rd and Illinois Street behind our building. Also, make sure that you have your valid driver's license with you whenever you are driving a company vehicle. And finally, don't forget the key. Please be responsible and make sure you do not lose the vehicle key. The loading dock. Loading dock rules and procedures. Our loading dock is located at 1198 Illinois Street. We share this loading dock with the entire building, and it's important to be mindful of the space. Our loading docks open at 7 a.m. and close at 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. You're responsible for making sure your vehicle is moved by 6 p.m. or risk being locked into the loading dock or having your vehicle towed. Rules of the loading dock. Rule number 1. Absolutely under no circumstances are you allowed to park in any unapproved spots, not even for a moment, not even when the spot is not in use. This means you cannot park in any space in the cage for any amount of time that is not our space. All spaces in the cage are assigned. The cage is the gated lot next to the loading dock, and it requires a clicker to enter. Drivers can only park in here if permitted by a manager, because these are assigned parking spots. Rule number 2. Any unattended items should be left in a secure location out of the way of others. The loading dock slopes in some areas. Letting go of something like a cambro, even for a moment, can send it rolling off the loading dock. Wheeled items should have their wheels locked when unattended. If items do not have wheel locks, you should utilize wheel stoppers to block items from rolling. There should be at least 2 people for all loading and unloading. If you're solo and need help, let a manager know. Rule number 3. Vehicles cannot be idle in a loading dock space for more than 20 minutes. We share this loading dock with every company in the building. We must be considerate with how long we spend in a loading dock space. When other vehicles or vendors are present, our company can take up no more than 2 spaces. Drivers may rotate vehicles into spaces, load or unload 2 vehicles in one space, or utilize other loading docks. Rule number 4. Vehicle load and unload must be as neat and confined as possible. All equipment should be stacked and out of the way. All equipment should be secured to prevent rolling. There should always be a clear walking path through your loading and unloading area. Rule number 5. No part of your vehicle and none of your equipment can be touching any other vehicle or another company's equipment. Nothing can be in contact with other vehicles. This is especially true of the vehicle's back door. When the back doors are open, they cannot be touching any other vehicles or vehicle doors. Backing vehicles into the loading dock. Number 1. Be aware of others. Make sure you are clear to get into the loading dock. Do not back into the loading dock if there are vehicles, people, or objects in your way. Make sure doors are closed when you are backing into the loading dock. Doors should not be opened more than 6 feet from the dock. When doors are open and the vehicle is moving, doors should not be in danger of or capable of hitting other vehicles or property. Do not open your back doors before it is safe and absolutely necessary. When idle or parked, your vehicle and parts of your vehicle cannot be touching others' property or others' vehicles. You cannot lean or rest any equipment or your vehicle doors on any other vehicle. The elevators. Elevators are property of the building and should be treated as such. Please be considerate of all the companies in this building. You should have all your items ready to go before calling the elevator. Use the buttons when calling or holding the elevator. Do not use your arms or anything else to block the doors. Use the door hold button to keep the doors open. Do not hit or dent the elevator walls or doors. The elevators are sensitive and can jam or break if damaged. Be careful when moving items in or out of the elevators. And finally, for the manual freight elevators, the doors must be shut after use in order to allow others to call the elevator. Please remember to close the doors. Basic vehicle procedure. When retrieving your vehicle, most of the time you will have equipment with you that will need to be loaded into your vehicle. It is your responsibility to make sure your equipment is secure while it is on the loading dock. Items should be placed out of the way, off to the side, and wheeled items should be locked. Be sure you are familiar with the locking systems. The loading dock can get very busy and very backed up. It is crucial that all company property be placed out of the way of others who may be using the loading dock. Your goal should be to remove your items from the loading dock as soon as possible. Your vehicle. Pull your vehicle into a single space into the loading dock. Make sure you check your entire vehicle for damage and note the damage to management. When we say entire vehicle, we mean your tires as well for damage, flats, and low tire pressure. The mirrors and windows for cracks, shatters, or signs of breaking in. And do not forget the front end for any damage or signs of tampering with the hood or engine. It is important that everyone does their part to assist in keeping our vehicles in good and working condition. Getting ready to go. Make sure you are familiar with your dashboard and where everything is located. Adjust your mirrors before taking off. Know where your heat, AC, and window defroster are located. Know where your lights are located and how to turn them on and off. Locate your windshield wipers. Locate your hazard lights. These are very important and are often used when driving our vehicles. Always wear your safety belt when the vehicle is in motion. Make sure everything is set, secure, and safe before you start your vehicle to leave. Basic safety procedure. Basic safety rules and procedures. First, always make sure your equipment is secure before leaving it on the loading dock. Make sure you check your vehicle before you leave the loading dock. And don't forget, confirm that all equipment and/or food have been packed up, and make sure all doors are closed. Be sure to adjust everything and secure your safety belt before taking off. Once you are behind the wheel, focus all your attention on driving and obeying the rules of the road. You are responsible for following all the rules and regulations with regards to driving. Obey all speed limits, yield for pedestrians and at all crosswalks. Slow down in construction zones. Remember, with larger vehicles, you must be extra careful with speeds, turns, clearances, and stopping times. Parking can be tricky. You must pay attention to where you are permitted and not permitted to park. You will be responsible for any parking tickets received, so make sure you are parking in the permittable location. Make sure you are able to pay for the meters or make other arrangements, and pay attention to parking restrictions. Try to avoid blocking traffic, but if you must block traffic, use your hazards. This tells others that you will not be able to move and they should go around you. Be mindful of passing motorists. Make sure you are utilizing your parking brake whenever your vehicle is parked. And be sure to curb your wheels. Even if you're not sure you are parked on an incline, better safe than sorry, because you will be responsible for the ticket if you do not curb your wheels. So be sure to curb them. In case of accident. In case of accident. In the event of an accident, do the following. First, if someone is injured, call 911 immediately. Next, contact office management immediately. Do not leave the scene of the accident until it is appropriate to do so. At an accident, do not discuss the specifics of the accident with anyone except the police, fire department, or other emergency personnel. Do not admit negligence or liability. And finally, do not attempt to settle, no matter how minor. Get the name, address, and phone number of any injured person and any witnesses to the accident, if possible. Exchange names, phone numbers, addresses, license plate numbers, vehicle identification, insurance company names, and policy numbers with the other driver. And take a photo of the scene of the accident if possible. Now that we've covered the material, let's have a driver and vehicle safety review. Before retrieving your vehicle, make sure that you've gotten your vehicle assignment and location from the driver's board. Make sure that you always have a valid driver's license when driving a company vehicle. And don't forget the vehicle keys. You are responsible for them. Additional items that you may need, including key fobs, gas cards, gate clickers, and parking cards, should be retrieved before you get your vehicle. When retrieving your vehicle, make sure you are careful and considerate when using the loading dock, and abide by the loading dock rules. Make sure you check your vehicle for damage and report any damage that you find to management. And prepare yourself and your vehicle before you pull off. Locate and adjust everything you need before you take off with your vehicle. When it comes to basic safety procedures, make sure that you follow all traffic rules and laws. Because these vehicles are large, make sure you are mindful of speeds, turns, and clearances. Treat these vehicles with respect and obey company rules and policies. And pay attention to parking rules and restrictions. And remember to curb your wheels. Well, that's it for our driver and vehicle safety program. Thanks for watching and drive safe out there.